Hi everyone, I wanted to make this recording for you about how I edit with my iPad M1. It's been such a really great transformation for me because it's sped up my editing process probably tenfold. So a gallery that used to take me several hours has now come down to maybe an hour or 2 hours depending on the number of images. So I wanted to show you this gallery really quick. It's one that I've already edited, but it gives you a good idea of my editing process. So I've already starred the images, as you can see here, and the way I do that is I'll get the full gallery uploaded. I upload the images on my laptop, on my MacBook, and then they go right onto Lightroom and I sync them to the cloud in Lightroom. So these are all rejects from this wedding, and when I go through it, I'll start at the first image and just press like the one button, or you can use 2 or 3 or 4. I like to just use one and then go to the next image, but you can see if I rate these all 1, it really quickly goes through each image. The images in this gallery sync so fast that I can flip through and virtually see the complete image without any delay. That's what I love the most about editing with the M1. So these are all images that I've starred. You can so quickly decide which ones you like and which ones you don't like when you can flip through the images so quickly and there's no time required to render them in between. So that's probably what cut down my culling process really quickly. That sped everything up. From there, I select one of the starred images and I will go into my presets. And these are all presets that I've created for myself, but you can just quickly touch them. I'm using the Apple Pen right now. I find that it gives me a lot more space, or a lot more accuracy and a lot more space to work with, like with my arm distance from the iPad. So I'm not moving my arm physically as much as I would be if I weren't using the pen. So I'll select whatever preset I want. I'm just going to cancel now because I've already edited this image. And then I quickly go to copy settings, which brings up a bunch of options that you can select. These are the standard options that I use, and as you can see, it gives you options within each one, just like the desktop version of Lightroom, so that you can copy those settings really quickly. And then I go back to the main gallery, and you can go to the hamburger, hit select photos, and use the pen to just click and drag which images you want to edit. What I love about this is that oftentimes, if I go back to the beginning of the gallery, you'll see that the lighting will change throughout the day, especially during a wedding day. The lighting is always changing. So you're able to go from a backlit image, like these ones here, to frontlit images, and select different edits for different ones. So for example, if I were to edit this image, I might choose a black and white, and then I can do black and whites for it, for the other backlit images. Or let's say I just choose a neutral edit, but I want to bring up the shadows, then I can copy that edit and put it on all of the other backlit images really quick. So I can select the ones that I want and then go to paste down below and hit apply. It will really quickly render those settings to those images. And then with the frontlit images, I can choose a different preset and edit it accordingly. And then remember, these are all reject images. I wouldn't give this one to a client, but then you can copy the settings and select the photos you want, and choose all the front lit images and then render those ones by pasting and applying the settings. And as you can see, it flips pretty quickly through those 28 images that I just selected. Now, once I've done that, I always go back and double check that every image that I've edited is appropriately cropped. And once I've done all of the cropping, of course, this is after I've numbered them. I've already starred them. But once I've done all the cropping, I'm just going back down to my starred images, then I will start making specific adjustments, for instance, to skin. So you can see here, I might do a little bit of a band-aid on some scarring on her face, and otherwise the image is good to go. One other thing I love about this Lightroom mobile program is that you can tap on the image and bring it full screen, which I find to be a really great tool when you're looking, when you're selecting images and starring them, because you can see the image full screen. It's all you have on your iPad's view, and you can hit 1 for the star, and I use my left hand to hit 1 and my right hand to use the arrow button to the next image. So it really quickly flips through them and you get like the best view of the image. All right, so once you have copied and pasted all of your settings, you can always use the typical Lightroom mobile tools to make appropriate adjustments to each image. So one of the great tools that they just came out with was the masking feature. So you can apply any of these masks, and that has really made a game changer move for Lightroom mobile. And that in particular is pretty much why I moved to my iPad, not just because it's quick, but also because all of the functions I need are now in the app. So with that being said, there are tutorials in the forums about masking, so I will let you find those rather than re-explain that here. But I did want to show you the process of how to edit on your iPad so that it's really quick. The last thing that I do is I'm going to select my photos that I want to edit. So on top of clicking and dragging with your finger or your Apple Pen, I forgot what it's called for a second. I think you can also use the control function as usual to select the images, but I might be wrong on that one. I just like to use the Apple Pen because it's super quick and easy, and then I can be really selective. But for the images I want to export, then I have a few different options that I will share with you. So I'll select the images that I want to export and hit the share button at the bottom. Now this gives you a bunch of options. If you want to just export to your phone, I suggest using the share to option. It will quickly render, and then you can send it to yourself in Messenger and save the image from there, or you can email it. You can send it, airdrop it, whatever else you need to do, save it to your Drive or your Dropbox, whatever you need. So that's a really quick way, especially if you're gonna be socially sharing your image. You can also edit in Photoshop. I don't do that, but it's an option that you can choose to do if you use Photoshop in mobile. You can export to your camera roll, which is another really great way to share mobile images and socially on social media. And I use the bottom option here, which is export as. And you always want to make sure you're in JPEG using the largest available dimensions if you're going to be delivering full resolution files. But you can also edit that if you want. There are more options. For instance, output sharpening. Since I don't sharpen my images in my edits, I let the output sharpening do that for me, so I pretty much always leave it on screen and standard, but you can do whatever you typically do in Lightroom. And of course, as usual, make sure you're selecting sRGB for the best possible print options. I keep my image quality at 80% just because I shoot Sony SR A7R3, so it has really high resolution files, so keeping it at 80% makes that file a little bit smaller, and using PicTime like I do also reduces the image size, which is nice, but keeps the quality. So that's how I export images. They go straight onto, oh yes, that's the one piece I was missing. I export them when I'm on my laptop, not from my iPad, because then I will export them onto my external hard drive just so that I have an extra backup. And then from there, it's a really quick and easy upload to PicTime for me, but you can upload them obviously anywhere you need to make copies of your files or share them with your clients. So hopefully that helped, everyone. I am here if you have any questions.